We can all agree that Avatar is a Hall of Fame franchise full of 10 out of 10 characters, a 10 out of 10 world, an 11 out of 10 power system. The list goes on. The Last Airbender especially is objectively one of the greatest pieces of fiction to ever grace the world. But Legend of Korra is also a Hall of Fame series that needs its flowers. As we approach a whole new Avatar series and hopefully 3 new animated movies on the horizon, if those are still happening, I've been reminded that throughout her entire life, Korra really has been faced with an impossible task. A task so monumental, many people still think she wasn't able to do it. How do you live up to what came before? How do you live up to the child prodigy Avatar Aang? How do you live up to The Last Airbender as a series? Look, me personally, I think Korra did it, but not by being Aang, of course. They were extremely different people. Korra started out as a GOAT by carving out her own path, dog. Peep game. I got into Avatar literally during the airing of Sozin's Comet, but they had out the ass reruns of The Last Airbender on a daily basis for years, so I feel like I'm way more familiar with that series versus Korra, because I watched that as it was airing start to finish. That first premiere episode of Korra, bruh, you just had to be there. Every couple of years, something happens online that causes Korra vs. Aang discourse to come back into circulation, and this time it's heavy. Supposedly, Korra left the world in absolute shambles, and now the mantle of the Avatar is highly looked down upon. I just don't see this actually being true, dog. There's no way they do Korra this dirty. It's gotta be a scene in like the midway point where she talks to Korra and sees how she actually went down or something. But also looking back on it, every Avatar does kind of leave behind some type of huge mistake that the next Avatar has to end up dealing with. Aang's creation of Republic City kind of sort of led to Yakon and his kids running amok. Heavy on the kind of sort of though, not gonna lie. But that's nowhere near as bad as what Roku had going on, bro. The entire 100-Year War can be traced back to him. Kyoshi stood on start to finish. But hold on, didn't she create the Dai Li? I'm not making this up, right? Now, do I think Legend of Korra is better than The Last Airbender? No, of course not. But that's because nothing is better than The Last Airbender. Except maybe Code Geass and Across the Spider-Verse, but look, even then, that might be a toss-up, you know me? Granted, there are things that Korra has that are better than The Last Airbender, like fight choreo, art style, a lot of visual which makes sense given that it came out many years later. You know what's really crazy though? Korra only came out 4 years later. What? What? That don't even sound right. When we were younger, I swear the gap felt so much longer than that. Also, the way bending changes between the two series across society from an action standpoint and a general sense is neat as hell. They had motherfuckers casually lightning bending in factories to power stuff or whatever they had going on here. Pro bending as a concept is genuinely so legendary too. They was fighting for their life in that ring, bruh. Between both shows, bending is just so cool, and the choreography especially is some of the smoothest, most fluid, most prettiest I done ever laid eyes upon, gang. The Equalists and Amon were also some Hall of Fame villains. Amon was a demon and shows just how cracked bloodbending really is. This dead might be the sauciest villain in Avatar. The nigga is clean. The hood plus mask combo is so damn hard. Following The Last Airbender, making the first villains of Korra be a cult of non-benders is peak cinema. TBH, most of Korra's villains are genuinely amazing. Zahir and Kuvira were especially some dogs. Oh my goodness. Because of how the series is formatted compared to The Last Airbender, Korra did technically save the world from more threats than Aang, right? Korra had 3 or 4 world-ending villains, while Aang just had the overarching looming force of the Fire Nation. Granted, I'm sure Aang dealt with more shit off screen after this though, like Yakon, so grain of salt on that, not gonna lie. Having just the 1/3 of the Fire Nation definitely made for a more cohesive story, but Korra having as many villains as she did wasn't really the fault of the creators as much as it was studio stuff. Korra herself though matured and grew so much as a person from start to finish. She has a lot of room to grow at the beginning, where she starts off as super cocky and hot-headed, but then she gets almighty humble throughout the series and has to learn the beauty of understanding. Like, maybe we should ask questions first and beat ass later. She really did go through so much shit throughout her series. It's crazy. Korra also starts off as an avatar in a world that don't really need one anymore either. Literally from birth Earth, Aang's mission was to defeat the Fire Lord. Even before this nigga knew he was the Avatar. The threat of the Fire Nation was always there during Aang's time, so that makes Korra's lack of personal direction a really interesting thing to explore too. Motherfuckers have their opinions on book 2. I personally remember not fucking with it that much, but it did contain some of the greatest episodes of Avatar of all time. Shout out Avatar 1 to God! This flashback was some flame, and these episodes expand on the only real ass pull the Last Airbender had in the Lion Turtles. Where did they come from? Who the f were these niggas when Aang stumbled upon them? I don't know, except now I do. Now we do. This flashback explains who they are and where they came from. Aang's team Avatar is infinitely better than Korra's though, straight up. This nigga Mako is the biggest L human being. Holy shit. But the extended members like Tenzin and Lin were some goats. I'm sure I would like some of them more upon rewatch, but golly, Mako was off one, nigga. Alright, now that I'm actually thinking about it more, Bolin and Asami were some goats. They were pretty great, I'm not gonna lie. Bolin is like, he's not Sokka, right? He's also the funny guy, but he's not Sokka. Their other character traits outside of just being funny is like very different from each other. And so like, if they ever met on some shit, which I guess isn't possible now because Sokka got boomed, maybe. How did Sokka die? Anyway. Tenzin's kids are also great. Look, Milo said, be the leaf. Jinora was on some goat shit. First person to get the tattoos in hella long since Tenzin, I'm pretty sure. The final sibling is 3 of them. There's actually 4 of them. I don't remember. But Jinora and Milo were some goats. And look, in fiction, character is everything. I want to say that in order to fully enjoy this series, you gotta take off the comparison goggles. But actually on a meta level, the comparison kind of makes it hit more. Korra wants to live up to Aang's legacy so bad, but she simply isn't him. And it's not until she realizes that she has to do shit her own way and trust in herself that she really comes into her own as an avatar. And that's pretty beautiful. Korra and Aang are damn near polar opposites in a lot of ways. And that's honestly cool as to me because Legend of Korra is not the Last Airbender, and it probably would be worse off if it tried to be. I actually like on a personality type beat how different she acts compared to Aang. Also look bruh, niggas is trying to shit on Korra like she can't box because she lost to her villains a few times, and I'm here to tell you that is simply not true. She whooped the f out of mine with just air right after unlocking it for the first time too, mind you. And then she went full Spirit Titan mode and whooped Batu also. Alright, whooped might be a reach in this case, but she handled business in the end. It took everything out of her, but she ended up frying Zahir too. Even Kuvira ended up getting her faded in the end. Granted, her final fight with Kuvira is kind of in the air because like that big ass laser like ended up, except Korra Loki already had her beat before that, so like it was like it was a whole, you feel me? Peep how Korra was way more aggro and offensive the first time they fought, while Kuvira was reading her like a book. But by the end of the season, Korra is way more patient and reactive while still being offensive as f, which is a cool way for her to stay true to her core. Her losing bad to these villains before beating them makes way more interesting and makes her climb back more satisfying and fulfilling, if you ask me. Oh, you said you weren't asking? I bet. Me, I guess. A good story uses its fights to push the story forward, so it's a reason why she loses, and how she loses is extremely important too, right? Korra's aggro nature also makes for some very fire looking fights too. She really do move like she got the soul of a firebender, and I love it so much. Also, peep how DBS Goku bit her whole flow with the giant spirit form. Hey, Toyotaro, I'm noticing. I'm peeping it. In actuality, it probably don't have anything to do with it, but like, I don't know. That's still crazy. They were messy as f in this show, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, it made shit interesting, right? Hey, hold on though. We need a quick little fit highlight though. Come on, bruh. This is a Hello Next video. Peep game. Her book 1 design is iconic, bruh. She done fused the turtleneck with the V-neck and made it look clean as f. The entire bottom half is giving Broly in the best way possible too. Sleeveless fits where there's still some type of accessories on the arms is always some flames to me. Her book 2 fit is the same as her book 1 fit, but better in literally every way, dog. The darker blue and different sleeves is elite. The winter variant with her hair down is Hall of Fame though. Her book 4 design might be the sauciest one here though. The shorter hair is so fire. Her little Broly waist fur type beat is also shorter in this season, which is a fun little slight change. But yeah, I guess what I've been trying to say this whole video is they act like two legends cannot coexist. Toph becoming a cop was a crime against humanity though. The uniform was clean as hell though, I can't even lie. But damn, dog, the fit designs in general in Legend of Korra was some flames. This new Seven Havens series sounds like it's gonna be cool, but look, if I'm being completely honest, I'm way more excited for these new movies about the adult Team Avatar, the original crew, you feel me, the OGs. Long have I waited, long have we waited for a series, a movie, just more stories about the original crew, but as adults, bruh, please. These movies are auto 10 out of 10s, bruh, because look, character is everything, right? We already have so much rapport built up with these characters, bruh. We either grew up with these characters or the niggas that watched it during 2020, you feel me, when it got put on Netflix, the resurgence, yo, the Avatar resurgence in 2020 was one of the most beautiful trends of just a goat being recognized as a goat, bruh. That was beautiful. Avatar is truly timeless, bruh. This beautiful. But yeah, shout out Avatar and shout out you.
I can't feel my face right now, I'm burning up. I got this feeling that I won't come down, like got this feeling that I won't